Hello everyone, this is very different to what I usually do on the channel. We are doing a different way to how to run this way. So I will be changing a big season which is All-Stars and having it with a very different cast, but nearly all the same people are in this season. So yes, but also big difference, they won't have Mal in this season. So yeah. So I better start off with the teams, and I'm basing them off if they were evil or hero. Alejandro's definitely gonna be a villain. He was the villain of season 3. And Maria will be in the villains tier because she was kind of just being evil most of the time, and maybe because they needed an extra player on it. Brick would definitely be a heroic hamster. He saved his entire his team and the other team so they don't get radiation poisoning. So that is very heroic in some cases. Cameron definitely heroic. He got to the final 2 and won against Lightning, who is a villain, but I'll get to him in a second. Courtney, instead of what they did and made her a hero, she's going in the villains this time. She deserves to be a villain because how she was acted in Total Drama action and acted more like a villain, and plus the boyfriend kisser story. Dawn will go in the heroic hamsters because she was the first one to find out about Scott's evil malicious plans. So she goes into the heroic hamsters. I think she's the one replacing Sam. Duncan, I think it's obvious where he's going. He's going on the villainous vultures by his kind of evil intent. Plus, I think Chef would ask Chris to put Courtney and Duncan on the same team because he wants them back together. Since Chef said in a Total Drama World Tour Chef questions thing, he said his favorite couple was Courtney and Duncan. He wants them back together, obviously. Sorry. Gwen goes on to the hero hamsters because she was pretty much a hero in action and island, and then gets shafted in world tour. She doesn't count to be a villain. I think even though she had a heroic arc in world tour, I think they will still go to the route, and Heather will still be in the villainous vultures. Joe, of course, villainous vultures, villainous character. So yeah, she made it to the final 5 acting like a villain with Scott and work together. I think Lashawna would go on the heroic hamsters, even though she's got a um kind of explosive side. I think she can count as a heroic hamster. Lightning, definitely a villainous vulture like in the show. And yeah. Lindsay, of course, will go on to the heroic hamsters because she's kind of like a hero and should have won Teledrama action. If you want to see my own Teledrama action, like down below. And I promise, if you guys get more likes on the world tour and the losers thing, I will get to do what Revenge of the Island randomize, my own cast. So yeah, but I will be focusing on All Stars, and so I don't jank off at the plot. Mike most definitely will go in the heroes. He was also one of the first people to find out Scott's malicious intent, so he definitely goes into the heroic hamsters. Noah and Owen can go together in the heroic hamsters. Noah is supposed to be like a lazy type person, but he's more malicious. And if he had that schemer intent, I would actually put him against Owen in the villainous vultures, just because Alejandro's in there and he doesn't want. I don't want a part 2 to happen. I'll put Noah in the heroic hamsters. Scott will go on to the villainous vultures because they can work, I guess. Zoe, I think, will still be on the heroic hamsters. So yeah. Blatantly is definitely going the villain soldiers. No questions asked. And, I think because of, like, placement, because we have 11 people each team, I think they would put and Bridget and Jeff separate, because Jeff had a kind of evil arc in the Aftermath specials, and I guess Tyler can be placed in here as well for teaming up with Alejandro, which makes no sense, but I need equal amount of players, plus Mal isn't in the game, so Mal will never exist, so yeah. Um, Heroes versus villains. In my case, nothing would actually happen, and there wouldn't be an elimination in this episode, like Will's supposed to. What all episode ones happen. This would lead to Evil Dread. I've got nothing to know about Evil Dread, so let's talk about Evil Dread. Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's find out Evil Dread. So, Evil Dread is the contestants. There's too many ads. One sec. Evil Dread is the contestants go digging through a beach for pieces of a statue from their world journey. A returned contestant plays a former flame for a fool with a milady, while two past villains fight for leadership of their teams. Two contestants are nothing but a hindrance to their teams, while a new evil is unleashed. Okay, who cares about that? Ultimately, an acrobatic show-off gets the flush after his team loses due to his incompetence. I might just keep the same elimination to happen, and the Hurok Hamsters, win, and Lightning gets kicked off first. So, yeah, still weird. So, this would lead to saving Private Leech Ball. So, it's the Leech Ball, throwing challenge, and it's the remaining contestants go to war with each other with a disgusting arsenal at their disposal. A villain tries to bring their team together while a false hero proves himself as a coward by using others, while someone mysteriously loses his abilities. Mike will still lose his personalities, but not like in a sense that Mal will appear. So but Mike would still just lose his entire thing, which gets Zoe and Cameron kind of worried for him. In my case, I think the Hero Camsters would lose, but there won't be there'll kind of still be a team swap, because I think someone was kind of being more evil, and I think in this case would be Lashawna, and Jeff was being more of a hero, so I think both Lashawna and Jeff switch. But in like votes, I think Noah would convince everyone that Lindsay's just being dumb at the moment, and I think she needs to go. And even though Tyler would be kind of annoyed, I think she needs to still go. So I think Lindsay will be the second boot instead of the first boot in Heroes vs Villains. So yeah. So this would lead to food fight. I think in this specific episode, Gwen and Duncan just break up in this episode. Just food fight. Food fright. Oh my god. That's wrong. Okay, it's food fright. I don't know why. It said food fight when I saw it. Okay. Food fright. There. Fixed. So it's the contestants face a challenge that involves filling their stomachs and surviving their way through a nightmarish obstacle course without throwing up. Um, Meanwhile, someone copes with his new hero status at the time, which is Jeff, but he doesn't really care. He's with Bridget, and the Shauna's just kind of worried she might just be a boot since she's on the same team as Heather, Courtney, Alejandro, and Blaney, I guess. So, and a shocking revolution due to a fearful necessary. The villainous vultures was gonna lose. Actually, no, the hero campers was supposed to lose, but I think it would be Tyler that would pack something in his like in like his pockets, because he would supposed to be winning the challenge, but kept some in his pocket, because I felt like he would be sent to Boney Island, but they all find out, and Tyler gets the boot. Sorry, Tyler. It just has to be this way. This would lead to Moon Madness. So, let's go. Moon Madness. So, Season 5, Episode 5. During a rare blue harvest moon, all of the wildlife is affected, causing savage animals to become docile and normally gentle creatures to turn into ravenous monsters that hunt the teams. Someone else is also infected by the moon. Kinda. Heather, Heather pretends she's been affected by the moon, and Noah pretend. No, actually, it would also be it would actually be Owen who would also be infected by the moon, which would be kind of weird, but it would actually be funny. Meanwhile, one contestant starts warming up to another contestant. Courtney would start flirting back with Duncan, and I think they get back together in this episode. But I think the villainous vultures would still lose because of Anne Maria's docile actions. But I think they just vote off blatantly for being so obnoxious during the challenge and kind of just hates everyone, including Chris. So I think she gets the boot in this episode, and I'm gonna say this now. Why do I have a bunch of challenges from other seasons? It's because Allstars is going to be a 26 episode season, so I had to add some from the reboots and reboot season 2 and also Park 2 Islands, because I can't use Redonkulous Race since that has countries, and literally these 3 seasons have islands, so yeah, sorry. This would lead to no one expects the Spanish opposition. So, Alejandro would flirt with, Dawn to no, I actually think, Alejandro would, convince Brick to get everyone to vote off maybe, like, Owen or Jeff. But I think Brick would do the safe option and tells everyone to, like, vote off Jeff as soon as elimination, because it's either going to be him or Bridget, because they keep on making out. So, yeah, and I think of this case, and I think Brick, Cameron, Dawn, Gwen, Mike, Zoe, Noah, and Owen would vote for Jeff, while Jeff and Bridget vote for Brick. And I think Jeff would be eliminated in this episode, sadly, but I think I need to get my own elimination order in this case. So yeah, this would lead to suckers punched. So in my case, instead of like a an elimination episode, someone has to get switched onto the other team and the villain to choose. So the contestants square off against old enemies in a boxing tournament. Two people have their newly formed friendship tested by a cynical host. Someone defeats a familiar foe and admits his love for Heather, and another true nature is revealed by a former contestant. Meanwhile, a sweetheart tries to ally with a teammate in order to eliminate a growing threat. But due to a surprising twist, a lovesick. Oh no. That would. Sierra's in here, so I can't include that part. So, because Heather is here now, and Alejandro would still, convince and still confess her feelings, Heather would be, kind of shocked and everyone else is shocked about this as well. And Heather says, "Do you actually?" Alejandro says, "I can't hold it out," and I do. Heather kisses Alejandro. So yeah, um, Alejandro still gets Jose. Heather would most likely get like a sumo wrestler. I think Cameron would actually still get Izzy. I like Izzy instead of Mike getting her instead. I think Anne Maria would get Zeke because I feel like they have like a rocky relationship. I think Duncan would face off against Courtney. I think Courtney would go against Gwen. Joe would face against Heather, I guess, because Joe's like an enemy to Heather. I think Scott would fight who is it? The shark mutated creature. I think Lashawna would have a face off against, I guess, like Alejandro, because I got no idea what could actually help against Lashawna. I think Brick would be have to tested by his own will, but fails. Dawn would most likely get the power against Scott. Gwen gets Courtney, of course. Mike would get his um like thing back, like his power back, his powers to change. And I think he would also get Cameron's fear, which is Izzy. Which Izzy's kind of confused since didn't she just go against Cameron? Cameron is like Izzy did kind of break Cameron's arm, and Izzy kind of just apologizes, and then she sees Owen and just hugs him, and because of this, Chris says challenge over. Mike gets the point. Zoe, I think Zoe would get the same thing. I think Noah would get like something. I am not sure. Maybe like a tester or something. Maybe because he wasn't in the phobia factor challenge because I have no idea what his fear could be. Owen most likely get the same fear he got in phobia factor, which was like heights or something. So I think he would still get heights, and Bridget would most likely have to face Jeff, even though he just got eliminated, and Bridget would kind of just sadly win, and Jeff kind of lets her win, and I think the hero campsters would win, but Chris does a plot twist saying that the heroes have to choose someone to switch with another contestant. So Noah would have to think of a strategy, saying that I think because Brick is starting to act like a villain, how about we switch Brick with Anne Maria? Everyone agrees to this, and Brick and Anne Maria switch teams. But the villainous vultures, no one gets eliminated in this episode. This is a filler episode because I've got no idea what could actually work for this. So yeah. This would lead to you gotta be kidding me. Okay. So in this episode, the host. No, wait. pits the contestants in a boat race around the camp. An unlikely foursome is forced to work together, which only shows Duncan, is forced to work together. And while newly reformed friends Gwen and Courtney team up, a prisoner frees himself to meet one of his allies. A manipulative contestant wins wins it for the team, which is Alejandro wins it for his team, and the hero campers go to elimination. But Chris says he'll be choosing who will be going tonight, and I think he would say Anne Maria because she's just obnoxious. She's kind of like Blaney, so I think he would vote out. I think he would easily get the salt. I think Chris would say, "Sorry, Anne Maria, I hate you, and plus I kind of just don't like you being with Zeke." Because I feel like it'd be better off. He actually makes Anne Maria an intern. Because, yeah, I guess that could work. This would lead to Zeke and Ye Shall Find. So, let's figure out it. Okay. Zeke and Ye Shall Find. The host prepares a big 100 episode spectacular, which is ruined by Ezekiel. Tries to enact a ultimate revenge on him as the cast attempts to rescue the perilous host. The truth of a hidden. Oh, no. Okay. While a relationship between two people takes the next step, only to become worse through a crisis, with the other rescued by behind bars. It was up to the remaining campers to team up and stop the kidnapper. A scaredy cat manages to win the challenge and save the day, while the sidekick becomes too injured to continue. Moments before his elimination, he finally realizes his trust that to Brick, that Brick is literally become more evil. I know I'm making Brick evil. I love Brick. He's a good character, and I feel like he gets like a good manipulative arc. And because of this, I think Dawn would be injured, and I think she would be eliminated in this case. And I think there would be no elimination in the opposite kill course, which makes no sense, but I think it would still work. As I think it would work as a non-elimination challenge instead of an elimination challenge. This would lead to Sunny Muddy Sunday, which is the most infamous episode, which is also kind of the saddest for me. Because Corny gets eliminated so Sunday Muddy. Got the Sunday Muddy Sunday. So, the contestants take on a race to find the ingredients to create a sundae to feed the host interns. So, in this case, I think DJ would return in this episode only because Chef and Chris would pay off, DJ's, pretty much, debt he has from action, so he kind of just reluctantly joins in. And, I feel like in this case, yeah, he won't join back. Okay. Either on her or through an alliance, another tries to figure out the cryptic meaning of a falling contestant's final words and says, Dawn says, "Watch out for Brick and Alejandro." So, through one appears to victory, a twist in the rules lead to her lose completely instead of makes the other one the winner of the challenge and ultimately gets her dessert and her ticket to the toilet. So, I feel like the villainous vultures would lose, and I think they would actually blame it on the Shauna. But because she's the only good guy on the team besides Brick. But I think Alejandro and Heather agree that Brick is more of a helpful person. Joe is like very annoying, and the Shauna is more respectful than Joe. So I've ignored it for too long, and Joe is eliminated. This is the final 12. So I feel like the Bold and the Beautiful, no elimination. Pirates of the Caribbean, I think there would still be elimination. Let's just deal with that. Let's deal with the Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean. So the teams compete in a challenge to sink each other's pirate ship down. One of the captains causes tension by being aggressive with with the teammates, and even one kicking one overboard, while the others lead his team to victory with a certain based on his team's petty feud with a certain someone. When one team's last member daring attempt at a tie fails, which accidentally exposes a secret, the other team is declared victorious despite not thinking she did anything wrong. The bossy team captain ends up being voted off. So, I think the team leaders on each team, sorry, would be I think Zoe, and I think Heather would host the other team. Maybe Courtney, but I feel like Courtney needs to stay for longer. So Zoe, okay, I think Zoe would lead her team to victory, and I think the Villainous Vultures would lose once again. So, I think they had to vote someone out. I think Courtney, Duncan, and Scott and the Shauna would make like some kind of alliance to try and get Heather, Alejandro, and Brick out. And I feel like because I think Heather and Alejandro and Tyler, I think they have immunity. I think they still got the immunity idol at this rate. I think Duncan and Courtney and Scott and the Shauna all agree Brick needs to go, and I think they just vote out Brick here. Saddy's not making the merge, but it has to go this way. Back to Boney Island is the next challenge. So, in this case, this challenge would be not an elimination challenge, but someone is going to be injured in this case. So, and I think Cameron would be the injured one in this case, which leads to his elimination. But Mike and Zeke and shall find, but this is later. So yeah, just give me a sec. I'll figure out the plot to Drowntown Abbey. I have watched the reboot. It's just hard to remember the episodes. So campers are tasked with an obstacle course to rescue their trapped teammate. The trapped teammate would be Owen and the Shauna, like in action from drowning. One contestant learns how tough the show is, but can't leave outside or getting eliminated. A superstar turns out not be okay. So, in this case, Finley Villainous Vultures will lose again, and I think Heather and Alejandro will force the others to vote out Lashawna. So, Lashawna would be eliminated, sadly, in Drowntown Abbey. I think Back to Boney Island can be like the Sasquatch episode. I mean, the Bigfoot episode with Lindsay. So I think Lindsay will make a reappearance in this episode, but I think Lindsay would also appear with Tyler as well. So Lindsay and Tyler will be in Back to Boney Island, and each team have to save someone, and whoever they save gets to come back but joins the other team. I think the villainous vultures would lose and the heroic hamsters would win. I think Lindsay would join the villainous vultures after this. So yeah, and for this case, the villainous vultures go to elimination, and I think they vote. I think Scott, Lindsay, Courtney, and Duncan vote off Alejandro because I think it's better off having Alejandro being eliminated. I'm joking. Heather is gone. Of course they're gonna have Heather being eliminated. It's obvious. So yeah. So in this episode, Cameron would get himself injured in this episode because I guess it kind of just works. So in my case, okay, I know I'm doing this quick, but Cameron still gets injured in this episode. So yeah. Say hello to our merged contestants. Alejandro, Duncan, Courtney, Scott, Owen, Lindsay, Zoe, Gwen, Mike, Noah, and Bridget. I know it's weird having Noah and Owen being in the merge because Owen isn't like good enough to have 4 seasons in the merge, and Noah has not been in the merge at all, which is kind of cool having him in the merge here. But I don't think he'll win the season, but he might do in a way. He's a cool character. He's my favorite, of course. You've seen the shorts. So yeah. So these are the final 11. Wait. 10, 11. Okay, it is 11, sorry. And because of this, I think Chris would agree someone needs to return, but he won't go for someone from who is eliminated, but he will pick one from the old cast. Nah, I'm joking, he's choosing someone from the new cast. So, I mean, like, from Revenge of the Island cast, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of the 11. I mean, 8 out of the 11 being with old cast. So, and of the one I've chosen, it's Sam, since he was the only one. He's the only Revenge of the Island cast member who didn't appear in my own All Stars, and he did appear in All Stars. He didn't actually do well. But I think this is better off doing this him as the comeback in this case, instead of having 2 comebacks in this case. So it's kind of cool having Sam here. Sam's a cool character, but he's not one of my favorites. The Wheel of Vomit, which is gonna suck because because I've taken out so it's like Wheel of. Is it not Wheel of Vomit? Overview format, episodes. Oh my god, it's not showing me the episodes. So we need episodes. We need episodes, goddammit. Tortoise, rigor mortis. Wheel of Vomit. Okay. Sorry. Let's get this done. So the recently merged contestants are forced to eat disgusting foods which are chosen by the so-called Will of Vomit through one player voluntarily opts out entirely, which is Bridget, because it's all gonna be gross meaty food, because Bridget is a vegetarian, so I don't think she would, I think she would opt out. And it'll be a tiebreaker between, maybe like, Duncan and, Mike. But I think Mike would win the tiebreaker, and plus, Sam would be, full of immunity, so he doesn't have to do it. So both Mike and, Sam get immunity. So I think Alejandro, Duncan, Courtney, and Scott would vote for Lindsay. Owen, Lindsay, Zoe, Gwen, Noah, and Bridget would vote for Scott. So Scott is the first one eliminated out the merge. And because we have a couple of episodes left, we're gonna have to have a double elimination here in the Pink Painter. So this is like the Squid Game episode, but this is back in like 2014, so they're gonna have to make it a red light, green light challenge. So Alejandro does the play that he thinks that Mike and Zoe need to go out together unless because if that happens this is because we don't want Commando Zoe happening again. So I think the plan would actually work, and I think both Mike and Zoe get voted off by everyone, which is kind of happy. It's a happy ending to them. Plus, I want different ending. I want a different ending to what happened in it. So yeah, that's how it's gonna work. Then we have choosing for bruising. So, in this one, we have our remaining, I think 9? Yeah, 9 or 8. Yeah, 9. So, Chris also says this is a double elimination, but he will pick someone to go. So, the plot is... let me have a look. Um, the contestants must correctly answer would you rather questions about each other or risk falling off the bridge. I think Noah would suck at this, but Owen would help him out. And because of this, I think Noah and Owen, because of their friendship, would be immunity holders. So I think Chris would decide to just vote and choose Gwen to elimination, and I think Alejandro, Duncan, Courtney, and well, I think mainly because Noah and Owen are not allowed to vote because Chris says he's got a secret plan for them, and Alejandro, Duncan, Courtney, and I think Lindsay would be persuaded to vote off Sam, while Bridget and Sam vote off Alejandro. But it's a basic vote, and Sam is gone, sadly. So yeah, this would lead to working K9 to 5. So, because we have 8 contestants, we have 7, sorry, and we have 7. Actually, the same good amount of episodes left to have single eliminations from now on, and having Backback Mountain being the final, having 3 zones and a baby being a non-elimination episode, and having Backback Mountain being a double elimination again. So, working K9 to 5 will have the same plot. And I think by convincingly, I think we won't let Lindsay win this season, sadly, even though she's a comeback. This is the problem. Comebacks never win, is the problem. So yeah, Lindsay is eliminated in working K9 to 5, and then we have Off the Hook, which gets it's an instant elimination, I think, in this episode. So Off the Hook, which is kind of the second to last episode of season 6. Season 7, 6, something, yeah. So it's the final 6 face off against their greatest fears and each other to determine which of them will make it to the next episode. One contestant feels lonely and alone without his buddy. So I think Alejandro will be kind of like sad that he doesn't have Heather anymore. So I think he would get Duncan and Courtney out the challenge, and then goes for Noah. So all 3 of them are up for elimination. Then I think goes for Owen, and then I think Bridget would get immunity in this case, because I think Bridget can get through Alejandro's schemes and win immunity. So in my case, because they don't want him to win again. I think they would vote on. I think Alejandro would ask for let Bridget have a sole vote, and Alejandro persuades Bridget to get Owen off because you don't want him to win again. So yeah, this will lead to Mo Monkey's Mo problems. So so in this episode, the contestants, well, it's the a monkey scavenger hunt in which the merged contestant has to find a golden coin and insert it in the vending machine before the other. So yeah, I think Noah would be the first one to put it in because he's smart enough to find out. Then I think Courtney. Then I think Bridget. And then sadly, I think Alejandro would be the last one. So I think Duncan will get the hurl of shame. Sadly, so the flush of shame. Sorry. And then, as I said, three babies and a free zone to the baby would be a non-elimination episode, and I think Chorus would be funny and let a non-elimination happen again in Hull and Go Seek, which would mean to Breakback Mountain, which will lead to the final two contestants. So we have Backback Mountain, which I guess is now called Skyfall, but it's called Backback Mountain in this timeline. So yeah, so we still have Skyfall happening in Park 2 Island still, I guess. And it's the final four contestants compete in a race to the top of the mountain, where the last two people to cross the finish line is sent home. Well, I think Bridget and Noah would agree that Courtney and Alejandro are too malicious to stay. So Bridget would throw Noah to the top, getting him into the finale. And I think Alejandro and Courtney would. I think Bridget would get to the top and getting her into the finale, and both Alejandro and Courtney are gone in Backback Mountain, which is the second time she's in the final four. But this time I'm gonna put her as third, since it makes a difference at least. So these are the elimination orders. Lightning in 22nd place. Tyler in 21st place. Bladley in 20th place. Jeff in 19th place. Anne-Marie in 18th place. Dawn in 17th place. Joe in 16th place. Brick in 15th place. LaShawna in 14th place. Heather in 13th place. Cameron in 12th place. Scott in 10th place, maybe? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay, this is confusing. Courtney 3rd, Alejandro 4th, Duncan 5th, Owen 6th, Lindsay 7th, Gwen 8th, Sam 9th, Mike 10th, Zoe 11th, Scott 12th, Cameron 13th, Heather 14th, LaShawna 15th, Brick 16th, Joe 17th, Dawn 18th, 19th, and Maria 20th, Jeff. Okay, no, wait, this makes no sense. 22nd, 21st, 20th, 19th, 18th, 17th, 16th, 15th, 14th, 13th, 12th, 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd. I'm so confused. I think I have 23 contestants. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yeah, 23 contestants. So, yeah, let's get the teams up. So we have team. Oh, okay, second verse. Okay. For final reckoning, I think Noah would be a red color and Bridget would be a blue color ish. So we, instead of like having everyone being flown away, I think there would be choose between Team Noah, Noah and Team Bridget, which is weird having. Oh, sorry. Um, Team Bridget. So they gotta choose who's gonna win again. I think Courtney and Alejandro don't want Noah to win, which would make them go on to Team Bridget. Duncan is surprised that Noah's in the final two, so I think he would vote for him. Owen's definitely voting for Noah. Lindsay might agree to vote or to go get Noah to win. Gwen and Sam would vote Noah. Mike and Zoe would choose Bridget. Scott would choose Bridget. Cameron would choose Noah. Heather would pick Bridget I think she hates Noah. Lashawna would pick Noah. Brick would pick Noah. Joe would pick Bridget. Dawn would pick Noah. And Maria would pick Bridget. Jeff would pick Bridget, of course. Bladley would be with Noah's team, I guess, Team Noah. Tyler would pick Bridget. And Lightning would be Bridget. I think Noah would get the first ending because he deserves to win one. And I think Bridget would get the second ending because, yeah, it can work. So, yeah. These have been our 23 contestants. Noah, Bridget, Duncan, Owen, Lindsay, Gwen, Sam, Cameron, Lashawna, Brick, Dawn, Plainly, Courtney, Alejandro, Mike, Zoe, Scott, Heather, Joe, and Maria, Jeff, Tyler, and Lightning. So, that is it for this video. Noah and Bridget get both endings. And, that is it from me. I will see you in the next video, most likely. I think it might be Revenge of the Island. You might think it's something else. It might be Squid Game Season 2 with total drama characters. You'll find out soon. And I'm happy to say we have another long episode out, which is perfect. Because it's rewriting, Total Drama All-Stars. So I thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!